We're checking out Gunfire Reborn to let you know if it's still worth playing in 2024. If you've played any roguelite games, you'll feel right at home. The objective is simple: move through rooms filled with enemies, shooting everything in sight. Only after clearing out all enemies can you move to the next area. The game constantly rewards you with loot, especially new weapons, but you can only carry 2 at a time, so quick decision-making is crucial. You'll also pick up scrolls and ascension perks from chests, which add buffs to your character and change how each run plays out. The storyline in Gunfire Reborn is minimal. After a short intro fight, the innkeeper panda, Uncle Bao, informs the Crown Prince, your cat character, about a demonic aura in the game's first area. While the Crown Prince tries to explain his determination to fight the demons, the dialogue isn't well translated, making the plot difficult to follow. Once you pass this brief exchange, the story fades into the background, and there's barely any dialogue until the final boss. While some players might appreciate a more detailed story, Gunfire Reborn keeps it basic. Even vendor characters you meet in the game are silent. The absence of a stronger narrative might feel like a missed opportunity, but the focus here is on action. Gunfire Reborn excels in one area: its weapons. In the first several hours, you'll be showered with new guns. They come in familiar types like shotguns, sniper rifles, and rocket launchers, but each feels unique. There's a launcher that shoots black holes, throwable blades that bounce around, and ice spears that stick to walls and enemies, which can be recalled with a satisfying thud. You'll also find some guns with alternate fire modes, such as a lightning rifle that boosts damage when you shoot through a glowing blue circle. Each weapon has different inscriptions, adding special effects or elemental damage. The mix of scrolls and ascensions makes the gameplay more strategic. Ascensions are specific to each character and give significant boosts to your attacks or abilities. Choosing the right ascension perks and weapons is key to making each run a success. There are 2 types of in-game currency, one used during your current run for upgrades and weapons, and another spent after a run to unlock permanent upgrades like extra health and increased damage. This system ensures that even if you fail, you'll come back stronger in the next attempt. Despite the fun weapons, the movement in Gunfire Reborn feels slow. Compared to other roguelite FPS games like RoboQuest, where fast movement and quick reflexes are key, Gunfire Reborn can feel like you're moving through mud. Even after unlocking faster characters, the movement never quite hits that satisfying speed. This becomes a problem when many enemies, especially bosses, use area of effect attacks, making it important to dodge and move quickly. The levels themselves are fairly basic, with little verticality and repeating layouts. Optional side areas, called vaults, offer harder challenges and better loot, but they aren't hidden, and there's a lack of secret areas. This repetitive design can lead to a sense of monotony, especially when you're clearing out the same rooms over and over. Visually, Gunfire Reborn uses a cel-shaded style that looks decent but lacks detail. The environments don't offer much in terms of variety, especially after spending some time in each act. By the time you finish the first few levels of a new act, you've seen all the visual tricks the game has to offer. It often feels like you're playing an upscaled older game, with blocky designs and simplistic textures. On the bright side, the gun designs are creative, and some of the visual effects during combat look good. The sound design also leaves something to be desired. The soundtrack is subtle, to the point where you may forget there's music playing. It picks up during boss fights, but remains largely unmemorable. The sound effects during combat are serviceable, but they won't leave a lasting impression. Although the game's movement, visuals, and lack of story can be frustrating, the roguelite mechanics help save the experience. The game shines when you start unlocking more ascension perks and discovering weapon synergies. Combining certain scrolls, ascensions, and weapons can make for explosive and satisfying runs. If you enjoy finding the right combination of upgrades to dominate enemies, Gunfire Reborn will keep you hooked. In the early stages, you might struggle with the tougher enemies, especially as they pile on in later acts. Elemental damage comes in 3 forms: fire, lightning, and corrosion. Each has its own strengths, like corrosion slowing down enemies and lightning tearing through shields. The trick is to stack multiple types of elemental damage for stronger effects. While this elemental system adds depth, the game doesn't do the best job of explaining it. Tips pop up during loading screens, but they go by quickly, and the game's tutorial doesn't cover everything in detail. You might find yourself heading online for answers on how to maximize elemental damage. It's a fun system once you understand it, but the game could make it easier for players to grasp early on. Once you understand how to use elemental damage, runs become more manageable and rewarding. You'll still die a lot, but that's part of the roguelite experience. Success often depends on the random perks and weapons you find, which can be frustrating when a run falls apart due to bad luck. But it also means that every run feels fresh, even when you're playing the same levels. While it takes a while to unlock new characters, each one offers a different way to play. The bird character, for example, excels in close combat and can kick enemies in the face. With more characters comes more variety, which helps keep the gameplay fresh. There are 8 characters in total on the Xbox version, although the PC version offers more through DLC. Console players might feel a bit left out, but hopefully those extra characters will be added in the future. So, is Gunfire Reborn still worth playing in 2024? If you love roguelites and enjoy experimenting with weapon combos, this game offers plenty of fun. The gunplay is engaging, and there's enough variety in the weapons and characters to keep you entertained. However, the slow movement, repetitive environments, and lack of story might turn off some players. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more reviews.